All right, I'm here today to talk about why a home inspection is important. In the past several years, to get an offer accepted, you had to basically give up your firstborn, put down every cent you had, pay over asking, pay the difference in the appraisal, and if it came in low and what the purchase price was, and then a lot of times not ask for anything to be repaired at inspection. Now, it's always a great idea to get an inspection, whether you can ask for things or not. You still have the option to bow out if something big comes up, because nobody wants to buy a home that needs something big repaired. But also, once you tell the sellers that it needs to be repaired, then now they know and they have to disclose that. I have some great inspectors, and what an inspector is going to do, they're going to go into the house, they're going to run all the faucets, they're going to look under every sink while they're doing that, looking for leaks, they're flushing all the toilets, they're testing the water pressure, they're turning on all the showers, they run all the appliances. Most of the time they don't usually run the washer and dryer. I guess it depends on the inspector. Mine doesn't. But while you're there, you're welcome to, I'm sure. Except one time I did have it happen and it overflowed. So maybe don't do that. But they're looking for leaks. They're going to tell you the age of your appliances, the age of, you want to know how old your furnace is. You want to know how old the water heater is. The average lifespan of a water heater is 10 years. So you don't necessarily want to move into a place that's got a 10-year-old water heater. But they run the water and to see how much hot water there is. So when I bought my house, the inspector ran the hot water. We had 12 minutes of hot water. That's not even enough for a load of dishes. That's not long enough for most people to take a shower. Certainly not two people. We got that fixed. We got it replaced. But they're looking at cracks in the wall. They're looking at cracks in the basement. They're making sure there's nothing structurally wrong with the house. Now, they can't tell you if it is or not because they're not engineers, but what they can do is tell you, hey, you're going to need to get a structural engineer in here to look at this and verify that something needs to be done or that nothing's wrong. They're going to run the furnace and the air conditioner if there is one, and they go around and they put a little temperature reader up to every return and every vent to make sure that the air is coming out the temperature that the same temperature in every room. They're going to look at the electrical. Homes in Denver, my house was built in 1958, but we've got some homes that were built in the 1800s. So, the wiring has changed a lot since then. If it had original wiring, it would be knob and tube, which is dangerous and not something that a house should have now. But even in during some of the wars, when they needed copper for things, a lot of houses started wiring homes with aluminum wiring. Well, aluminum wiring is known to cause problems. It can cause fires. There are ways to safety guard it to where you don't have to rewire your whole house. But an inspector is going to pull out an outlet and look behind it. He's going to look in your junction boxes. He's going to look in your electrical panels. He's going to look at everything. And, if up in the attic, there's a place where, there's some stuff wired together and it's just kind of open and could be a danger. He's going to point that out. So just all of the things, the big safety things, fire hazards. He's going to look up and make sure that your insulation is a good thickness. Looking at the roof. So, they'll generally get up there on the roof and walk around and they'll point out stuff, different vents and stuff on the roof that might have been hurt by hail. We have so much hail here and it's so sunny that roofs don't last as long as they do in some other places. But then there are two things that your average inspector does that are additional that I always recommend. One is your sewer line. So you want to get your sewer line scoped. They take this camera on a wire thing and they push it through the whole sewer line, sometimes they can do it like they'll pull the toilet up and they can do it through that, but usually they're looking for like a clean out, something like that, an entry point for the camera. So then they're gonna go down, and what they're looking for blockages, they're looking for tree roots, they're looking for cracks, they're looking for what the material is that it's made out of, low spots, standing water, anything like that could really cause an issue. I mean, the last thing you want to do is move into a house and have your sewer back up. That would be awful. So I always recommend one of those, because also a sewer line repair or replacement is going to be one of the most expensive things that's going to come up in an inspection. That and a roof or structural stuff. And then the last thing that I always recommend is a radon test. So radon is a leading cause of lung cancer, according to the American Cancer Association. And it's a clear gas. So it's in the ground and it just comes up through the ground into your house. Now you're probably like, well, how am I going to get rid of that if the house has it? So the radon mitigation company comes in, they install a fan underneath your foundation, and it sucks the radon out and sends it up through your roof, through or the side of your house or wherever they put the pipe. So it's kind of cool, but then it keeps the levels below 4, which is what the recommended levels that are safe are 4 and below. So, next time you're looking for a house and you're looking at inspectors and you're wondering what it is they're going to do, that's what they're going to do. And as a buyer, you're able to be there the entire time if you want to be. I usually tell my buyers we'll meet there at the end, go through everything that was found, measure rooms, do all the, and then we ask the seller to make the repairs, and they either make them or they don't, and we decide if what they've chosen to do works for us or if it doesn't. So if it doesn't, then you just bow out and we find a new home. So it's just part of the process, and it is a good one to definitely have, and make sure you know what you're doing.